All right, I've got to make a sample data set for something. So I'm going to go ahead and just record it and share with you in case you want to make a sample data set for yourself as well. Uh, Personally, I'm doing it for some testing in Power BI rather than use the full real data. I like to just sometimes use smaller sets of data that is pretty, I don't know, universal, considering that stuff's going to change along the way. Uh, and it makes for a good starting point for other stuff. And I've had sample data sets before that I've just lost along the way. Uh, and sometimes it's just good practice to do it again. So here we go. This is just, I'm going to do it based on um, some sort of product ordering system. So we're going to have some dates, some values, or some like prices, and then some other qualitative, or sorry, yeah, qualitative information, stuff that describes it. So we'll just keep it pretty straightforward and simple. But part of this creating the sample data is to randomize it a little bit in a way that it doesn't look too fake. Uh, if you're creating your own sample set based on a specific thing, uh, maybe you want to look at some general trends as to how things go, or maybe you just take full data sets and change the data other ways. But this is how we're going to do it from scratch here. So for the columns that I'm going to have, let's just say we're selling a product that gets quoted. So we'll start with a quote date, and then we'll start with a sold date, continue with a sold date. Then we'll add in a paid date. So we have three dates to work with. And and I am using three dates because specifically one of the things I want to do is focus on in Power BI using a parameter to switch between fields and switch between date fields specifically. So this matches up with what I'm looking to do. Then we'll put in the amount, um, which will be like the paid amount, and we'll put in the customer uh, name, and then we'll put in city and state. There, we'll pretend it's all just done in the United States, America. And then so for our quote date, sold date, and paid date, let's just pretend that the this all happened between, I don't know, we'll just do like a year or so, maybe. So how do I want to do that for a random? I'm sure I could look it up, look up some sort of uh, table and just pull it in. But what's the fun in that? Sometimes I like to just play around. So we'll make a kind of random table. Um, so we'll start with the date, um, and we'll throw an index in, I guess. And we'll start with 1/1/24, I suppose. Change that to a short name. And we don't need to do a full year. We'll just go up to June. Oh, I just happened to go up to yesterday. Look at that. And we'll populate that. All right, so now we have 1 through 177. We'll turn that into a table. Oops. Whoops. can't have a space in a table name. And we'll come back here, and we want this to be each record to have like one of those dates. So we'll do equals rand between 1 and 177. So now we've got these random numbers coming down. So it's just a start. I know it's not a date. And we'll do let's do 100 records for good measure. 101. So going down to 101 gives me 100 records because the first line, row 1, is 1. So this will be that. And then we'll do sold date. What we'll do, the idea between sold date will be, we'll say it takes between 1 and 7 days to get the quote to a sale. So let's just say equals this plus, if it's 177 or above, it's going to cause a problem, but we'll just do this, and if we get an error, then we'll get an error. This isn't going to be the fanciest way to do it, but this plus rand between 1 and 7. And then we'll say that after it gets sold, typically it's paid between 1 and 30 days. So let's say there's like a net 30. So we'll say equals this plus rand between 1 and 30. Okay. So now we have all of these dates, or the indexes for those dates, and we will do a lookup to, instead of pulling this index, we'll pull this date. So, I haven't done a lookup. Oh wait, I usually use an index. Let's see, equals x. Is it x lookup now? A second. Right. Yeah. X lookup value is going to be that, the rand between, and then the lookup array is going to be the date range table, and then we're going to return the date, right? Yeah. No. Date range, date. And I think that's all I need. Nope, that's not right. Back it up. Let's do this. Equals oh, oops, I forgot to put in the index. Then return array will be date range, date. That should work. Yes, and then we convert that to a date. Boom. All right. Let's bring that down there, and then we'll just. Ooh, we don't want that. I'm making more work for myself. All right. Between. Lookup value, lookup array. return date range date. There we go. And short date. There. Now we got some values. So 316 it was quoted on, then on 323 it was sold, and then it was finally paid on um, 411. And let's just scroll down, make sure there are no errors. Yay, we did it. And now, I mean, we could. What I like about these sample sets like this with the random number is they can change. So if you want different samples, all you got to do is do something in the workbook, and all the values change. So you can have random samples that way. Um, but in this case, we have everything we want. Make sure, and then we'll just copy and paste the values. Copy, paste values. Boom. And then, so for the amounts, let's say same type of deal. We're between selling stuff between $500 and $2,500. And so we'll just do a rand between 500 and 2,500. Yeah, we'll get some random values there. Copy, paste. And then for the customer, let's say we have a customer base of, we'll just make another table. And here we go. We'll just do this. Customer A. Does this auto-populate if I do that? I wonder. Nope. Well, fine. We'll just do a customer 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And we'll say we have, I don't know, 25 customers. And 1 through 25. Call that customer. Then we come back here, and then we do the same thing. Equals Xlookup rand between 1 and 25, because we have 25 customers in there. Lookup array will be customer index, and the return array will be customer name. There. And now we have a customer assigned to each. And then we'll copy, paste. And I'm pasting the values when I do that. Because if you just paste over it again, you're just pasting the formula again. If you paste the values, then it stays and it doesn't change. And then we'll just say we work strictly out of main, go main, and strictly in, well, actually, let's do this. because each customer is not going to be really moving around too much. Get rid of that sheet, and we'll just add the city and state because that's information, customer information. They're all in Maine, and let's say that these guys are in Westbrook. This chunk is in Portland, Gray, Lewiston, and let's just pretend we got a couple up in Caribou. There. And then we come back here, and we do the same thing. Equals Xlookup, Rand, between. If I hadn't already, like, actually, you know what? I already did too much. I already did too much to go scooting back so far. Equals Xlookup, and one. And, oh, you know what we'll do? We'll just do a straight Xlookup of this. Look up our because it's associated with the customer at this point in time. I didn't make a separate table, so we'll just do this: customer lookup, customer 6 lookup array, customer um, in customer name, and returning the city. Oop. And then we'll copy paste. That's not going to make too much of a difference. And then all of these are main. I'm just going to put main. Turn that into a little table. And we'll call that sales. There. And that is it. Uh, all done. Now I can use that to play around with data wherever I want. This should be money. There. Now we're done. So that's all. Very quick. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Want me to go over it with you, or if you want a sample set for yourself because for whatever reason you don't want to go through the work. Bye bye.